to his creator Adam and said to them, "You now tell me the names of all these." They just cried. They said, "Subhanallah, glory be to thee. La ilma lana. We have no knowledge except what you gave us. We don't know." It was the greatest honor that a teacher calls up a very diligent student, knowing that he is going to perform well. You tell them the names of all these. It said, Adam, peace be upon him, with great dignity and proper pronunciation, correct intonation, great honor, he called out one by one the names of all these items. Then he said to the angels, "Didn't I tell you that I know what you do not know?" The point is, Allah honored our father Adam by way of giving him knowledge. A good speech, subhanAllah, and that is real knowledge. And if you know, you read the Quran, apart from the word Allah and Rabb, which means Lord, the word ilm, which means knowledge, is the most frequently occurring term in the entire Quran. The word knowledge, ilm, and that is not by chance. You will find it everywhere, in all the various inflections. Ya'lamun, ya'laman, ya'lamun, ta'lamun. Everywhere you find ilm, know. In all the derivations, the word knowledge has occurred in the Quran. Only Allah and Rabb appear more than that. That also is not. To swear by a letter, noon, it tells you something. What qalami wa ma yasturun, and by the pen and what it writes, it tells every student. Allah is telling us something. And what could be greater than that? The very first word to be revealed is Iqra, read. Let every student in every school know that the very first word that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad upon his was the word Iqra. People today do not like reading. A person who does not have that desire to utter an accurate sentence also does not have the desire to read. Reading is indeed a command. We must make it possible. Learn a word every day. Correct your method of speech. It is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everybody knows 4 codes. Code. Code means say, speak. When you hear speak, what are you talking about? What are you going to speak if you do not know a language? The word code has appeared both in Quran and Hadith in all the different numbers and genders. Code 1, singular. Kula, the word. Kulu, masculine, plural. Kuli, feminine, singular. Kulna, feminine, plural. In all the different genders and numbers. Speak, say. Very often, a person who has a burning desire to say something, he has something inside and he wishes to express himself, but cannot find words. That's the person who goes to the foul language. You have something to say, maybe very genuine. You have something to say, but you don't know the words that can't come to you. What words you choose? In your anger, because you cannot express yourself, you begin to become abusive. Learn to express yourself. The first command, the aim is read. And this is something we must take very seriously. Language is not just a language that we talk in any broken way. It should be honored. Allah is the one, in fact, He created all the different languages. And look how he addressed Prophet Muhammad upon these. فَإِنَّمَا يَسَّرْنَاهُ بِلِسَانِكَ. Indeed, we have made the language fluent, eloquent on your tongue. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ. That when you speak, when you utter, they will take heed. Meaning, by the choice of your words, by the construction of your sentences, the choice you would use when you speak to them, you will soften their hearts. It is not just that you speak in any way and be satisfied, this is the way I talk. That's not honoring language. By the way you choose your words, by the structure of your sentences, you are able to impress. Be careful. Boys, even whatever, you are making a proposal. Be careful, it makes a great difference. The choice of your words. Sometimes people go with big qualifications. They go for an interview, seeking a job. Yes, you have all the classes. Degrees, English. But sometimes the one taking your interview wants to hear you speak. And sometimes you forget. You are convinced that you have all the qualifications in the form of paper, not a sentence that you uttered was correct grammatically. That is noted. So what you are saying, look what I have brought here, this is theory, this is paper. I am not ready like that. That's what you are indicating. It should make a difference. When a person who is learning, a person who goes to school must speak properly. And this is very important. For 40 years, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he grew up as a youth in the presence, in the eyes of the people of Makkah. All they knew about him was this boy never went to school. He never saw an institution. It was all of a sudden, after that age, that came from his very blessed speech. The most impressive and eloquent words, mind-boggling words came from his lips. Its silence and challenge all the eloquent poets and the people who were versed in language forever. All he knew, he didn't go to school. They couldn't believe it, they were baffled. They had to say things like, he's a magician. Some said he was mad. What else to say? They envied him to the utmost. This was the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That He sent Prophet Muhammad upon peace in such a time. You will remember when Allah sent Musa, peace be upon him. He sent Moses in a time when black magic was very rampant. Everywhere, to the highest, people were teaching, preaching, and practicing jadoo, black magic. They did black magic to the extent where people were flying like birds. That is how it was. Allah sent Musa with such miracles that conquered all that they were doing. Through his stick, and it was the serpent moved. He struck the ocean with his stick, and with Allah's permission, the ocean parted, allowing Musa and his people to cross, destroying Pharaoh's people. They actually had dominated all that they had done. Allah sent Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, in a time when the knowledge of physics and medicine was at the height. Everywhere, professors, doctors, and physicians. Allah sent his prophet, who was even rose the devil. The Prophet upon him, he said, every messenger who came, Allah gave them a miracle, the kind of which brought people to faith. What I was given was an eloquent revelation from my Lord. Yet I hope that I will have the greatest following when Allah sent Prophet Muhammad upon me peace in a time when language was at the pinnacle of glory. Everywhere people, they studied language. It was at the top. And to hear from someone who never went to school, such words, grammatically correct, the verb agreeing with the subject, the adjective with the noun, singular, dual, plural, masculine, feminine, when he uttered, they listened in amazement. And this group never went to school. That was the amazement. That was it. Allah did that for a reason. Instead of believing that this was something that came from the Supreme, a divine revelation, it was easier to say he was mad, for he was a magician. I said, we made it easy and fluent on your tongue. When you will speak to them, they will be mindful. From these narrations, from these verses, we will come to conclude that speaking a proper language is the lost property of believers. Wherever the opportunity will arise, whenever we must grasp it and begin to correct the mode and manner of our speech. My brothers and sisters, knowing Islam is a progressive religion. It's not dormant. It's not that we must remain the way we are all the time. It teaches progression. By the way of revelation, Allah encourages that every day we must want to learn something. You read, for example, Al-Qari'ah, the calamity. Mal-Qari'ah, and what is the calamity? وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِعَةُ, and what will explain to you what is the calamity. Like a teacher back in school. You know, you have teacher and teacher. That's the way a teacher makes it like a class. And children, do you know this? What is this? We don't know, sir. Do you want to know? Yes, sir. You make it interesting. It sounds like a class. That's the way. Allah talks about the wrongdoers will burn in the fire on the day of judgment. He said, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ, and what will explain to you what is the day of judgment? ثُمَّ مَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا يَوْمُ الدِّينِ, and again, what will explain to you what is the day of judgment? He said, Laylatul Qadr, the night of power. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ, and what will explain to you what is the night of power? Like a teacher and student. It sounds like a class. Nothing is wrong even in the Khutba. Take it that format. If that is the sunnah and the format of Allah, whose method can be better than that of Allah? It's just that the fatigue is asked question. But you explain in a way that people remember, and it becomes easy. And talking to my brothers and sisters, pay attention to speaking proper language. As parents, you send your children to go to school. Check how much money you spend. The books alone and grammar cost quite a lot. Look at the vowels. They go to school. They are learning. You should ensure that they speak better than you do. In our time, we will be afraid to utter a sentence in front of our teacher. If we make a mistake, they look at us. You know what that means? Repeat what you have said. Correct your mistake. Whatever is written as wrong is also wrong to speak outside. They will write correct. What is correct in the book is also correct to be spoken. And that is the method we should adopt. It should not be teaching and learning only to write an exam. It is the lost property of Muslims. Speak it in proper language. Make the effort. It's beautiful. It's a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you buy any device, any apparatus, even a phone, you get a manual. You look at the manual. You read it. There are times you understand it fully. There are times you may come up with a word or two that needs to be clarified. If you don't understand, you will ask somebody. And if you don't find someone to ask, you will go to a dictionary. You will not find a fault with the one who has printed the manual. You want to make sure that you have understood what is there before you use your device. Your money is spent. We should not want to remain the same way we are all the time. Islam is reciprocal. I make this humble appeal, my brothers and sisters. It begins at home. Parents and children adopt this lovely practice to speak properly. Recently, I mentioned to someone who had his young son growing up, said this is indeed a lovely age of your son, that you can instill in him to speak a proper language. He said we try very hard at home, we do it at home, but when he goes to school, come back, he goes the same old way. That's so different. It should be the other way around, that when he is at home, he speaks colloquial language. And when he goes to school, he learns to correct himself. This is not a hit to anyone, but we, as parents and teachers, we have to ensure that our children, our students, maintain this lovely habit to speak correctly. It makes a difference. The choice of your words, learn to pronounce it. Pronunciation. It's not just when you recite the Quran, your words. The way you speak, the way you pronounce your words, it says a lot about you. Especially knowing in Quran we learn, مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. No person utters a word except that the angels are ready to record it right. When this verse was revealed and explained, even those among the Sahaba who used to groan in pain, they stopped groaning. Even your in pain will be recorded. That will be recorded. Your broken language, your incomplete sentence will be recorded. Will you write on your record book that what is given is correct, grammatically? It's a sunnah. Very often we get it is sunnah to drink 3 sips. It is sunnah to start sleeping on your right. This is sunnah, that is sunnah, very well. But we do not care. It is sunnah that when you speak properly. This was the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That when he speaks, is his concern that whoever is on the other end, the hearers, the listeners, they must understand carefully what is being said. It's the sunnah. That is refined as sunnah, beginning from our parents and teachers. That is goodness. Learn a word or two every day. Every house has a dictionary. Correct your pronunciation. We can help one another. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us that we can revive this very wonderful sunnah and know that speaking properly is indeed a property of Muslims. Barakallahu